this first exercise, we're going to take 15 degrees and try to rewrite it as the sum or difference of two angles that are on the original unit circle. So here's what I mean by that. If I draw a unit circle and put the angles that we know on it, here, we know that's 0, 30, 45, 60, and 90. Can I add or subtract two of those things and get 15 degrees? Well, of course I can. 15 degrees can be equal to, say, 45 minus 30, or maybe 60 minus 45, whatever. You may think that this was a totally pointless exercise, but you would be wrong. You'll see why in just a minute. How about doing the same thing in radians, pi over 12? Well, pi over 12 is 15 degrees, so we should be able to rewrite it as the sum or the difference of two angles the exact same way. How about pi over 12 is equal to, one of them we said was 45 minus 30. That's pi over 4 minus pi over 6. 75 degrees as the sum or difference. 75 degrees, we could rewrite it as, can't do it as a difference. How about 45 plus 30? Check. And 5 pi over 12 is the same thing as 75 degrees. So I should be able to rewrite it exactly the same way, which was 45 plus 30. Okay, the whole point of that was we're going to use these sum and difference formulas so that we can find the exact trig values of those angles. So I broke this down into sine, cosine, and tangent because I want you to look at these separately so you can see what patterns you notice about them on the formulas. So if I have the sum of two angles, I'm taking the sine of some two angles, like for example this could be 30 and 45 degrees. Then I would take the sine of 30 times the cosine of 45 plus the cosine of 30 and the sine of 45. So notice that what happens is you switch off sine and cosine between these two angle measurements. Whatever sine is here is the same sine in between them. Same thing on the difference. Whatever sine is here is the sine that's there. Okay, now let's look at the cosines. So cosines works exactly the same way if this was 30 and 45. But notice that this is both cosine on one side minus both sines on one side. So it'd be cosine 30 cosine times cosine 45 minus sine 30 times sine 45. Now notice that the signs this time are opposite. If I'm adding, I'm taking the sum of two angles, I actually subtract my trig values in the formula. Or if I'm subtracting my two angles, then this becomes a plus sign in between them. Alright, last one, tangents. If I do the same thing with 30 and 45, and I take the tangent of 30 plus tangent of 45 divided by 1 minus tangent 30 times tangent 45. Let's just say. So notice that the sign is exactly the same as on top, but then it switches on the bottom. Negative sign or subtraction sign is the same as on top, but then it switches on the bottom.